Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's versions of readings. This is on YouTube channel James 13 Wicca. In case you're seeing it anywhere else, this is where it should be. Also, I'm now offering live readings, in-person readings, if you're near Herkimer, New York. This weekend, October 26th, I will be in Dolishville for a benefit for Lisa Knapp, doing short readings. I believe that's from 1 to 5. I'll have more information on my Instagram on that. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Information below. If you're interested in the donation information, then information is also below. Thank you very much, and let's go into your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? I'm putting things down very particularly. I don't know what that's about. I'm still doing it. Okay, so this is where this is supposed to be, and it's going to stay there, and I'm going to make sure it stays there. Not really seeing anything bad. It doesn't seem like that's bad. Other people may not agree. Well, they don't, then they don't. So people want what they want. People want what they want. And it's interesting because Scorpio, the way I see Scorpio, is a leader energy. Ultimately, Scorpio does what Scorpio wants. So if you're participating in something, you've chosen to do so for a reason. Okay. So even if you have a job that you don't like, for example, you're actively choosing to go to this job, but you might be also choosing to look for other things at the same time. Typically, Scorpio is an active energy, and they don't really just kind of settle. Not usually, in my opinion. So there might be something here where there's a certain situation that's been kind of pushing on you, and you've decided to stay a part of it for a while for whatever reason. But that's kind of coming to the point where it's kind of like, all right, people are getting a little bit too pushy. And I feel like there's been points of contention with this situation for a while. Whatever this is, there's been some issues for a while. And I feel like I've maybe... Well, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Maybe you bought into the situation more than you actually had to, and that time is passing. That time is passing. It's almost like at this point, it's kind of like, you know what? I bought into that for a while. And no, I'm not going to keep doing this. You know what? I've changed my mind. I thought this was important. I thought I needed to be here. And I'm starting to think, you know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I have just been avoiding certain options for whatever reason. And I'm changing my mind. You've been putting up with something for a while. And I feel like for those of you who this really hits with, there was a good reason. Like you thought, this is why I have to do whatever I'm doing. But that energy is kind of leaving is what I'm getting. And it's kind of like my boundaries are kind of being pushed. And this is an interesting way that they have the 7 of Wands, because it's kind of like on your terms. It's almost like I might cross this bridge, but I'm not. I might just take those little sticks with me so that nobody can follow me where I'm going. So I might put up this little thing where I'm not letting anybody else in, basically because I'm taking away their opportunity to follow me. It's kind of how I'm feeling it with this one here. And it's kind of like, you know, I've kind of had it with this. I've kind of had it. I'm getting very much the straw that broke the camel's back on this one. Something's coming in, and I feel like you're being pushed into a corner. This energy, what does this say? Pray from the heart. I feel like maybe some of you have been asking, or maybe saying, you know, do we really need to be here? And like, it's kind of like a dark blessing, if you will. It's kind of like you're getting kind of pushed a little extra here so that you make up your mind if you're going to keep going with this or not. Little added pressure, little added like, okay, it wasn't really acceptable before, but now it's way over the line. Could be. Take it with a grain of salt, because I feel like somebody's purposely pushing you. Somebody might be trying to push you out. let's take that with a grain of salt. Let's just see. They better be careful what they ask for. 5 of Cups. Somebody might be trying to push you out. Especially if this is a business situation, and it doesn't have to be. It could be wherever it fits for your life. Somebody thinks it would be easier if you weren't there. And typically, I'm rolling my eyes because my energy is thinking they don't realize how much you're contributing to the situation. Scorpio, in my opinion, you just get things done. And I've known a couple different ones, and you know, they know they've gotten things done, but if you ask them how they did that, they're like, I don't know, I just did it. It just needed to be done, so I just did it. And that was that. So, and I also feel like Scorpio doesn't really, let me know if I'm wrong, but Scorpio tends to not toot their own horn. So people don't realize how dynamic you are sometimes and how much you actually are doing, especially if they don't pay attention or don't seem to have a favorable look at you, you know. So they should be careful what they ask for, because whatever this is, you might just move on. Because it's, I keep getting like the boundaries are being pushed, and I'm looking like, you know what, I'm not wanted here and I don't want to be here, so why am I here? Somebody might be pushing to get you to change or to go, and it's kind of like, hey, you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here either, let me just go, and good luck to your life. It may be one of those things. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever it may be. Take it with a grain of salt. It feels very strong to me, because it's kind of like, hey, I have other options. I have other options if that's how you feel about it. I don't know what I'm holding on for. I know there's a little bit more with this, because you know what? Whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm going to say that I've done this myself. If it's a job situation and you don't feel like the job has been respectful to you, you might be like, yeah, I'm giving notice, like 2-hour notice. Good luck. As in the last 2 hours of the day. And once I punch that time clock, you're not going to see me again. And that's how that goes. Take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't mean you should or will do that, but if it fits, it fits. Because it's kind of like, I don't feel like I owe people anything. If they're going to treat me poorly, I don't feel like I owe them anything, and I don't think I'm coming back here, and I'm just like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to go, and that's that. We all got to do what we all got to do. When I was very young, I had a friend of mine say to me that they didn't give notice. When they left the job, they never gave notice, because they're like, if they're going to let me go, it's just going to be like, bye-bye, too bad for you. So why am I giving them notice if I'm going to fire them as my employer? So I'm like, okay, everybody's got to do what they got to do. I didn't think I'd be the one doing it, but you know, a couple decades later, I did the same thing. Actually, that decade, I kind of did that too, actually. Now that I think of it, I actually did that right away. Whatever this is for you, whatever you got to do, whatever you take it with a grain of salt, make peace with whatever you're deciding you need to do. If it's an abusive situation, you got to do what you got to do. The thing is, you're Scorpio. Something replaces whatever's lost immediately. So if it's a job situation, I feel like it's almost the next day. You either have something or you're going on an interview, if it was that, for example. If it's romance, something new shows up immediately. Ace of Cups shows up immediately. Once you let go of whatever this is, something else shows up right there. Like, bam, it's right there. Which I feel like my knee-jerk reaction is like, oh boy. Like, I didn't even have a chance to take a full breath before the next one showed up. Like, okay, they're here. Okay, 5 seconds flat. I just walked out that door and somebody wants to hire me over here. I just kind of said goodbye to that person and somebody else wants to go on a date with me in like 5 seconds. It's like, okay. I feel like my knee-jerk reaction is like, oh my God, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. You're not trapped with this opportunity. Whatever it is, can you slow it down respectively? And still keep the possibility? 7 of Wands, half in, half out. The Strength card, half in, half out. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. Take it where you need to take it. Take it with a grain of salt. Readings for entertainment purposes only. Blah 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 blah. Whatever you need to say to yourself. Think for yourself on this one. So if it's somebody romantically, I would say, well, you want to go on a date? Push them out. Like, I would kind of commit to a date, but like make it like a week, maybe 2 weeks out. Kind of like, oh, I got a lot going on, but this Saturday, not this Saturday coming up, but the one after, I could go to lunch with you here or there, or I could do this. So if you're interested in that, we can do that. Or if it's like a job situation, and like, you're free, we need you tomorrow. Kind of like, I get kind of go with it and just take it step by step and just kind of absorb it. Try not to overachieve in the beginning. Just get involved and decide as you're doing it. Just remember that you're not locked into this situation. Take it with a grain of salt. I keep getting kind of like, go forward with it, try it. Just remember, just keep reminding yourself that you're not blocked into this situation, no matter what it is. Give it a chance to feel it out, decide whether it's right for you. I feel like this is weird. Because I feel like it's either kind of like take it and decide as you're getting involved with it, or say no and it's just going to disappear. It's stressful. I don't know. It's like, what's best for you? Obviously, if you say no, I mean, my knee-jerk reaction would be just to say no and walk away. But they're like, well, especially if it's a job situation, kind of like, get your feet wet with it. Just move slowly. Just don't overachieve. You're a dynamic energy, but kind of like put most of your energy into paying attention and watching versus doing and getting deeply involved in it, if you can do that. And just keep reminding yourself, I've only been here for X amount of time. I don't need to stay here. It's easier to leave within the first couple months than to leave after the first few years. I keep getting there, like, give it a chance, decide whether, get involved in it, research it a bit. Don't say no to it right away. Kind of get involved and researching it as you're going, especially if it's a job situation. Kind of like, even if you're only there for 2-3 weeks, hey, you did your best with it, and then you decided it wasn't for you. Life is the way life is. No harm, no foul. It happened so fast that you just got to make choices. Take your power back. Get your power back is saying, get involved, but keep yourself in your power zone. Just be careful of just saying no, just a knee-jerk reaction. Give it a chance, but like, keep reminding yourself, I don't have to keep this. Whatever it is, I don't have to keep this. It may be something good for you. I feel like whatever this situation is, it's got one of two ways to go. Either it's better than expected and maybe something you actually want, or it may open a different door to something that you actually want. One of the two things. Because I feel like it's going to, at least, it's either for you or it's going to lead you somewhere that you actually want to be. And I keep getting, like, keep reminding yourself, I don't have to adhere to other people's rules. If I want to move on, if I'm here a couple weeks or even a couple months and I'm just like, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm going to move on. That's fine, but it may open other doors, especially I keep getting like the job thing. Especially if it's like, all right, this next job popped right in the very next day. It may afford you like the monetary comfort to like not feel like you're having to scramble and get something right away. It may give you that buffer to where, all right, I'm making money, I'm paying my bills, but I'm still looking for other things. I'm still going on other interviews. I'm just keeping it to myself. And if something else looks better, if I'm only here for a month or less, or maybe even 2 months, hey, I got to do what's right for me. I'm not gonna give up a bad situation to get into another situation I don't want. I gave it a shot. Wasn't my flavor. I'm moving into something else. Just keep the power in your court. Get your power back. Do what you feel is right. I feel like that's an interesting one. I've seen this happen a few times with jobs mostly, where people are like, they feel bad taking a new job right away and then going in and like job hopping. I've done it myself even. Like, you got to pay the bills, so you got to do what you need to do to pay the bills. But if something better shows up, it's kind of like, you know what, I'm not super invested here. I got to go to something better. This is like when it comes to, especially if it's a corporate business, if they had the choice between you and somebody that they thought could do the business better, they would say goodbye to you and take the other person without much delay, especially if it's a corporate situation. I'm sorry, but usually that's how that happens. So you shouldn't feel bad about doing the same thing on your end. I'm going to shut it down there. I'm going to just let it go. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.